Welcome to the 25th episode of the Can Learn Library here at the North Battleford Library. According to Wikipedia, a flapper pie is a vanilla custard pie with a meringue, or sometimes whipped cream if you're in different parts of southern Saskatchewan. The graham cracker cream pie dates back to the 19th century, but entered Western Canadian pop culture in the 20th century as flapper pie. The pie is a staple of the Canadian prairie culture, and we're going to make one for you or with you today. Here's some of the items that you're going to need. This particular pie is in 3 parts. So for the crust, you're going to need 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs, 6 tablespoons of melted butter, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Now, for your filling, you're going to need 2.5 cups of milk, 3 egg yolks, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1/4 cup of cornstarch, that's your thickener, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now for the meringue, you're going to take those 3 egg whites when you separated your eggs. You're going to take 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar and 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. All right, now that we've got it all here, we will start making it. So I have preheated my oven because we're going to cook the graham crust once it's mixed together for 10 minutes so that it'll set. So first of all, we're going to combine all the graham crumbs, the sugar, our melted butter, and our little bit of cinnamon. Decide whether I want the wooden spoon or the spatula, but we'll see in a second. Okay, so we're going to mix that together and then place it into our pie pan. I've got a nice metal one that I like to use. It works really good. So I'll just mix this all up together. Hopefully it will stick to the sides. Sometimes I find you might need a little more butter just to make sure that it's going to stick up the sides, but we'll see here. I hope this 6 tablespoons is what they've recommended is going to work. So once we've mixed it all together, I'm going to put it into our pie pan. See that there, okay? And my hands are clean because I did wash them before I started. So I'm going to take them and just push it up to the sides. Don't worry if it doesn't go over the edge part of it, because that part of it is not so important. But as long as the sides down and up the sides of it. So I'm going to cook this for 10 minutes and then we're going to start on the filling. There we go. So we've got that done. So I'll see you in a minute to do the filling. Now, I almost forgot about reserving 2 tablespoons, so I quickly took 2 tablespoons out of my crust and put them to the side because we're going to sprinkle that on the meringue after. So with that done, while my pie crust is cooking, we are going to combine our milk, our egg yolks, and I think this might be where I need my spatula. Make sure that the eggs go into there. We're going to add our 1/2 cup of sugar, our 1/4 cup of cornstarch, our teaspoon of vanilla, and a little bit of salt. And we're going to cook this over a medium heat until smooth. Okay, I'm going to stir all this and cook over medium heat, stirring constantly until the mixture boils and thickens. Okay, so I'm going to put it on to medium heat here. And while this is cooking, I will just give you a break from watching this, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's thickened. Okay, thanks. So to make the meringue, we're going to take our egg whites and our cream of tartar, which I've put into a little bowl here, and we're going to beat it until it's foamy. So hopefully that won't take too long. So now that it's foamy, we're going to add the sugar and continue to beat until stiff peaks form. So I'm going to add the sugar, and I'm going to beat this, and then I'll show you what the stiff peaks look like once we're done. I just hate for the noise for you, so we'll just do this off camera. Okay, so I have done the beating, and I don't know if you can see here, there's stiff peaks in there, so that will help us out. Now we are going to put the filling into the prepared pie dish. So just give me a second here. Okay, as you can see, I've put the filling into here. Now we're going to use a spatula and swirl the meringue over the top of the pie in a circle, starting at the outer edges and working your way to the center to make a seal. So we'll start here. Hopefully I can do this, because you kind of want it to seal. So we'll just see how this goes. You can see here. Spatula. Get that onto there. Hopefully we can get it all to the edge and make it set. So as you can see here, it's just getting it to the edge. It's actually not a really hard pie to make. It's just, as long as your thing's set, I think you're okay. So, and one thing, once this has gone back in the oven to toast the top, like you want your little meringue tips to brown a little, then it goes into the fridge, and you should chill it for at least a few hours, because otherwise if you try to cut it now while filling is still hot, it's gonna, you're gonna be having soup, I think. So I'm gonna just take my spatula and just kind of dab at it just to get little peaks. Hope you can kind of see that. I know it kind of whites out sometimes, but if you can kind of see there, there's a little bit of peaks. So I'll just try to do a little bit more here. And then we're going to take, do you remember, I almost forgot about reserving those crumbs. And we will do that. Sprinkle that on before we stick it in the oven. And we're going to put it in, I think it's 8 minutes, but I'll double check. I'll just get these little dabs here. So we're just going to sprinkle this on the top just to kind of give it a nice little look to it. And I'll move the iPad just so you can see a little bit what this looks like just before it goes in. I might have saved a little too much. Oh well. Just get that on there and see how that looks. I think the nice thing about the flatbread pie is that it doesn't really need a lot of ingredients. And if you're not so great at making the pie crust with flour, your graham crumbs can be your friends. So just try to get this on here. And I'll show you what that looks like from the top. Here's what the pie looks like before it goes into the oven. All right, so I'm going to stick it in and then we'll have the finished product in just a few minutes. So after baking for 8 to 10 minutes, just to brown the meringue a little bit, I took it out of the oven and I'm going to let it cool on a baking rack. And then it's best to chill it for several hours in the refrigerator until the filling is set. It doesn't need any accompaniment. No ice cream or sauce, so simply slice, serve, and enjoy. Well, that's all the time we have left for the Can Learn Library. I hope to see you next time at the Can Learn Library here at the North Battleford Library. Take care.